Happy Saturday and welcome back to Noah Paranormal. Today we're heading back to one of the most infamous and forbidden places in the world that we covered once before, way back at the very beginning. Poveglia Island.
Oh yeah, I remember that one, Trista.
In Italy?
Yeah. Located in the Venetian Lagoon in Venice, Poveglia has a history that's as dark as it gets. It's been used as a quarantine zone, a dumping ground for plague victims, and later a mental asylum. But what makes it even more unsettling is what's been happening there recently. But it's got a large history of, paranormal stuff and people dying there and just, a very
Well, originally Poveglia was where they during the plague outbreak is where they kept sending people to quarantine them.
Right.
And for anybody that doesn't know. And it's actually, isn't it where the term quarantine comes from?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you so much as sniffled or coughed wrong, you were going to the island whether you were actually sick or not, whether you had the plague or not. You were going. And you had to stay for 40 days. And usually by the end of that 40 days, you got sick and succumbed to the illness. If you weren't dead, but you couldn't talk or you were very ill or you were unconscious, you were just added to the grave pit or the mass cremation.
Right. It wasn't a good scene. Yeah.
It was really bad. But yeah, that's where quarantine came from, and I started doing all the research on it during COVID quarantine.
Interesting. Huh.
I kind of hyperfixated on it, but anyway. For years, Poveglia has been completely off limits. No tourists, no overnight stays, and officially, no one's supposed to go there at all.
But that hasn't stopped people from trying. In recent years, there's been multiple reports of boats approaching the island, only to be chased off by authorities, but they can't even get close.
And that's where things start to get interesting, because some of those people claimed they weren't just turned away, they were warned.
Some boaters say they were told very directly not to return, not just because it's restricted, but because it's not safe. And they weren't talking about the buildings, they were talking about the island.
Now, there's also been stories from locals, like the fishermen especially, who refuse to go near the island entirely. And not because they're not allowed, but because they just don't want to be. And I think I heard somewhere along the way too that somewhat recently even some fishermen were still getting bones that were fishing too close to the island.
Oh man, that's
horrible.
Hardcore. I'm I wouldn't even go near it if it had that bad of a energy, Some even claim that their equipment malfunctions when they get too close. Engines cutting out, radios going silent, like something is interfering with them before they even reach the shore.
And then there are the trespassers. So the people who make it onto the island even briefly.
Mm-hmm. Right. And a lot of them report the same thing, a heavy feeling the moment they step onto the ground, like the air itself is wrong somehow.
Some describe hearing distant screams. I've actually heard that one a lot. Distant screams, even when they're completely alone.
That's super creepy.
That is super.
What's going on there that everybody's being turned around?
Thousands and thousands and thousands of people died there. That's what's going on.
True. Yeah, so there's got to be some sort of energy vortex there or something. Maybe CERN can tap into that and stop the Mandela effect. Anyways, others say they've seen figures standing in the windows of the abandoned buildings, watching them. Nice.
And what's really unsettling is how consistent these reports really are. Because it's different people at different times with the same experiences.
Huh. What makes you wonder, is it just the power of suggestion? Or is there something about that place that people are reacting to?
There's got to be something about
there's got to be, yeah.
Because if you look at the history, it's not hard to understand why.
During the plague outbreaks, thousands of people were brought to Poveglia to die or already were dead when they arrived. So there's
yeah, the island is a mass burial.
It's a island built on bones,
It's rumored that 50% of the soil is made up of human remains.
Wow.
That's insane. And later, when the mental hospital was built there, things didn't exactly get better because why not? A
Yeah.
mental hospital.
Well, I mean, it's such a negative place. Why would you put a negative mental hospital in such a
the thing
negative
is, too,
place?
is the patients were like, their spirits here.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they're crazy. And then the people that work there were like, there's spirits here, but I don't want people to think I'm crazy.
Yeah,
So they didn't tell anybody that they were seeing
Everybody
stuff.
was seeing spirits, and it was
Yeah.
like, that other person's crazy, that person's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, somebody's worked here too long. Now they're losing it.
Yeah, they didn't want anyone to know, though, you know?
Right.
Because you don't want to be looked at as, like, crazy,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
There are stories of unconfirmed but persistent of a doctor who experimented on patients before eventually jumping from the tower after claiming he had been driven mad by something on the island as well. That's a different story that has been circulating for years as well. I don't know how true it is.
He was like a mad doctor too, though, and he was doing experiments. He was even doing things as far as like he would like do experimental surgeries and amputate people's limbs and stuff. Patients, mentally sick patients.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
Amputating their limbs and stuff.
I remember that. Yeah.
One of the spirits is a guy. Didn't they say his name was David? I think.
I don't remember.
But he was a double amputee that like wheels around in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One of the ghosts. Yeah.
He's not dangerous and he's not scary. He just was one of the ones that the doctor
you worked on. Ugh.
Whether those stories are true or not, something about Poveglia has always felt off.
I'm sure 90% of that's true. And now with the modern accounts lining up with those older stories, it doesn't feel like the past is staying in the past.
Especially when people who've never heard the full history report the same exact feelings and experiences.
That's the part that gets me, when the story matches the place without the person knowing the story.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Okay.
So, is Poveglia just a restricted island with a dark reputation?
Or is it something more? Something that is still active and maybe doesn't want visitors? A vortex?
Because whatever is happening out there, it's enough to keep people away. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to comment and subscribe. It really helps to support the channel. What are you saying? A vortex?
It could be a vortex there, or who knows, you know?
I think all the death there may have like opened like a thin place or something. Because it's a lot of death.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
It's scary.
It's freaking creepy.
Well, thanks for watching. And I have a video on thin places that I just put out too.
Yeah.
Kevin's Corner. So you should check that out. Maybe I'll put a link right there in the top.
Nice.
Maybe I won't. We'll see my editing skills. Bye.
As always.
As always, stay spooky.
Bye.
Bye.